to get on religion. You're a religious man?
I am.
Okay. So there's something that I took out of the podcast I sent you where I kind of found it interesting, and I don't know whether I kind of made my own conspiracy theory up or anything like that. But they was talking about different age periods and about, what different ages and what came about from that age period.
I found this part of the podcast to be incredibly intriguing.
To me, it was one of the most interesting things about the podcast to me.
Yeah, same.
And he was pretty much saying, like, today we're in the age of Pisces. The age of Pisces started at like 1 AD.
That's
and
why everybody's so sensitive.
Exactly. And it's supposed to end 2160. And pretty much, you know what AD means?
Well, yeah, AD historically stood for after death.
Historically stood for after death, but the actual acronyms for it, I think it's called like Domino. I forgot. Let me actually see what actually.
Or maybe that's the transliteration of it. I know the original is in Greek, I think.
So
or Latin.
So it is Latin. It actually stands for Anno Domino, and it means in the year of the Lord. So that's what AD stands for, and pretty much he was saying that this is the age of the Pisces, which is 81 to where we're at right now. So right now we're in the age of the Pisces. He was saying it's funny how people a lot of times have symbols of Jesus with a fish. The Pisces symbol is a fish. A lot of his disciples were fishermen, and he fed people bread and fish.
Yeah,
and it was just like how his symbolism correlated to what the ancient Egyptians, or not even that, or ancient civilizations took to the cosmos. It make you believe, like, all right, what was the Bible really made, not to get too deep with it, but was the Bible really made for control more so than information? Because even looking into that, I was looking into the thing where it was showing about how the Gregorian calendar.
Yeah.
And about how right now it's really 2013.
Yeah, it's a different date in Ethiopia.
Yeah,
right?
In Ethiopia it's really 2013 because they didn't adapt the Gregorian calendar when the Pope when
It's
the
funny
Pope,
though. Google the date in Ethiopia and it just gives you today's date.
Oh, do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be seeing 2013. Well, I don't know. I have to look Google it again, but pretty much
just stay away from Google.
I got you.
Yeah.
But pretty much like the Pope in like 1592, like Pope Greg the VIII, he pretty much changed the calendars and pretty much moved everything up eight years. And before that, the time we was on was the Julian calendar,
Mm-hmm.
and pretty much what's it Julian Alexander the Great. He the one that pretty much changed time to kind of fit his time period.
Sure.
So who knows how many time or how many years we done lost?
Well,
we're just living off of a time period of conquerors from like millennia ago. Like,
and so much of the calendar, including the days of the week, are really pulled from pagan festivals,
mm-hmm.
holidays. I mean, even so we get our English Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's all Norse. That comes from Norse. That comes from the Viking invasion of Britannia. When they came over, they were making constant invasions into Britain at the time, and then one day they just decided, well, why are we sailing back and forth? Let's just stay here and plant some fields. So they just stayed, and they kind of conquered. They ended up spreading and marrying people, and most of the English language today is a mix of like Gaelic and French and basically like Norwegian, like Norse. Like the THs are all Norse, but they're each one of these days you can find the root of the name of each day of our week to a Norse god.
And I don't really know too much about the months, but I do know the months mean something as well. But I saw something where we originally had like 14 months instead of just 12.
Do you know why? Do you know why we celebrate Easter on 2 different days?
I don't.
You know why it alternates?
Why?
It came down to a dispute between the Roman Catholic Church and the Irish Catholic Church. And the King of England, which essentially at that time, you know, the powers that ruled the known world were England and the French. The French were subject to the Roman Catholic Church. The King of England was also subject to the Roman Catholic Church, but also in trying to keep his territory of Ireland happy, was also trying to, you know, make buddies and appease the Irish Catholic Church. And they had their own dispute as to which day Easter should be celebrated. Of course, we know the origins of Easter are really just a pagan holiday, but their dispute was which day should we utilize this as an opportunity to, you know, recognize the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And essentially the king at the time was just like, I'm done arguing with you guys. We're not going to like split the kingdom here. I mean, the Roman Catholic Church was even threatening to like dethrone the King of England, because for thousands of years, the Catholic Church essentially ran the world. They had that power. They sat kings, they removed kings. So basically what it came down to was a compromise. And they got the 2 popes together and the king, and they said, look, we're going to celebrate this year on this date, and we're going to celebrate this year on this date. And that's why we have alternating Easters.
And it's crazy to me because you talking about the